Crack that open. Hide my...
All right, we're back. Another one. Episode 15. Sent out the bat signal for the boy. We got JB, the big Bechtloff. He's going to be sitting down, and yeah, we're just going to be talking shit. You just had a baby, dude.
I did 2 weeks ago.
Papa JB.
Life-changing experience for sure.
Yeah. I feel like if it's not a life-changing experience, you're a piece of shit.
That's accurate.
And, oh, yeah, sorry. Make sure you're, like, this close. You're...
In there. All right, I'm in there.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I hear on Joe Rogan's podcast, he always says to tell people to talking to the mic, and I'm like, idiot, talking to the mic. And now I'm understanding that you have to get really close.
You got to get pretty close. I mean,
you got to get in there.
The craziest thing was Joe Chen's so good at everything, and the cocksucker couldn't figure it out.
Could not figure out the mic.
He just sat
way back.
I was like, JoJo.
With all this lumbar support in this chair, kind of tempting to just lean back. I could see why that would happen.
Nick Rod just held the mic and laid back. He
Oh.
just like picked it up with him.
I didn't even, okay. I was like, is this attached? Yeah. Okay, we could do that. It's kind of heavy. Nick Rod's strong, dude. That's pretty, I don't want to hold that for
Just doing isometrics for an hour.
Yeah, just holding. He's always working, dude.
Yeah.
Man's the best.
But yeah, man. So, yeah, obviously we want to get you on. You're the fucking like staple of B team. You're like the fucking, you're the heart and soul of that place. You've been there right when it started. You were Craig's main guy.
Yeah, that was a great time.
And Craig's main guy, you worked the front desk. You coached the fundamentals.
Yeah.
D2 wrestler. I think you were part of the wave of everyone getting good at wrestling.
I appreciate it.
And you don't get a lot of call outs for that, but like we all come to you for your fucking wrestling advice. And I mean, you've had a fucking one thing that's annoying, like you're like one of my like fucking best buddies, obviously, but one thing's annoying is like we all see this, like everyone just sees you get the shit kicked out of you by Craig.
Yeah.
So people are like,
oh, he sucks.
is he good?
I get that comment a lot. People come in and visit, and we roll, and then they're like, oh, I thought you sucked. And I'm like,
No.
Thanks. So you're saying I don't suck. All right, that's good. Yeah, we'll take that. But yeah, it's rolling the Craig is different, man. Especially at 8 a.m. That's, it's a rough way to start your day. But dude, he helped so much before he left. I really miss having him in the room. He was a really good coach for me. He didn't really feel like he's selectively social. He's not super yeah. But with me, he was super helpful. Definitely miss having that around. But dude, room's always stacked. But as you said, I just had a baby, so now I'm like a working man. Haven't been able to get in there as much, but definitely missing it.
Yeah, well, you had a fucking kickoff here. I mean, like, just to, like, know more about... I mean, we're just going to start talking, like, normal. I just wanted to get some shit out of the way. You placed at 2 out of 3 majors at adult at brown belt.
Yeah.
Did you place majors in the gi?
No, the gi, I never...
But you have, like, how many years experience did you have in the gi?
I did, like, the first 12 years of my training, I really only got to train no gi, like, maybe once a week. And it was with gi guys, so it was basically gi jiu-jitsu without a gi on, so it's not even... Yeah, I trained basically gi for 12 years. Wrestling in college was cool. And then, so I started off doing Muay Thai, actually. It was a gym called Saxon Janjira, just closed, unfortunate. He's one of the best strikers ever, I think. He's like an 8-time Lumpini champion in Thai, which is crazy. And,
what?
Lumpini Stadium champion.
Oh, that fucking stadium. They just started letting gringos in.
Yeah. He's like...
That place is fucking sick.
He like retired with his belt out of respect. He was like known for his head kicks and stuff. I started off doing that. And because, you watch the Ultimate Fighter season 1 with my dad and it's coming up. I was like, oh man, I want to be able to like knock people out. That looks really cool.
That's how I got into this shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then
watching it with my fucking dad.
Yeah. Ultimate Fighter was the kickoff for me. And then I started Muay Thai. And this jiu-jitsu guy came. His name was Eddie Ricardo. He's super good, super talented. And he had a wife named Monique. She had just won her first world title at blue belt. And he's letting people do jiu-jitsu for free. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. It looks fun. And he's like, yeah, roll with my wife. And I'm like, oh, she's really pretty and like she looks nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be careful. I don't want to like hurt her or whatever. Dude, she fucked me up. She must have tapped me like 15 times in 5 minutes. And I was like, where do I sign up? I have to. I was like, I just got obliterated by this like beautiful woman. It was crazy. And I was like, all right, I have to learn this. This is crazy. And then started from there. And then that was when I was like 15 or 16 years old. And then went to college wrestling, came back from college wrestling, like a completely different person. competitor, wanted to compete all the time, wanted to be the best, wanted to win everything. So I was doing ADCC Opens were not a thing. So IBJJF was like the only competitive circuit that you could get consistently good matches. And, you know, the more tournaments you do, the better seeding you get at Worlds.
And they actually have like a circuit.
Yeah, they actually have a circuit. It's like a season, which is nice.
Like you could compete every second weekend if you want.
Yeah, you could. And I did that when I was initially doing it. I was doing every single one. I was going every second weekend. I was competing in a different state, and every single time I'd run into this guy named Theo Le de Andrade or something like that. He's super, super good in the gi. He's from Cicero Costa, and he was like an import at this gym called Sharpen's Iron Academy. So that was my first experience with like Brazilian imports. I would fight him in the finals basically every weekend in a different state and lose. And I'd come back home and I'd be like, hey, how do I deal with freaking spider lasso? How do I deal with like De La Hivo when he's also got a spider hook on the other side and all this stuff? And it was just super complicated stuff that like I wasn't really getting my questions answered at the gym I was at. I feel like I kind of, no disrespect to that gym, I just feel like I kind of outgrew it. I was the only guy that was consistently competing at that level. And I started to go to pro training with soul fighters. That was Joao Rocha, Pedro Rocha, Bruno Tanquinho.
That's Tank's brother, right?
Tank's brother, yeah, the guy who won ADCC, his brother.
3 times.
Yeah, beast. But that room was just full of super tough Brazilians. Trained with them for a long time. Then what happened? Yeah, then I went to Nogi Worlds. And I kind of left that first gym. It was Cobra BJJ, still in Plano, Texas. Check it out if you're over there. Good spot. I ended up switching to Corvo Martial Arts with Uncle Tony. And, I was training over there. And
coaching the talented fucking Ramos.
Tony's, yeah. Dominic Ramos, been coaching him since he was like a really young kid.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dom's a fucking man. Shout out to Dom.
Yeah, shout out Dom.
I hope he moves to fucking.
He's an animal. Guy made it to round of 16 at trials, lost to Taza by 1 point. Super, super good match. Super good competitor. Definitely.
And he's just a good fucking guy.
Yeah, good dude. Good dude. Love that kid. He went with me when we switched to Corvo. So went to Corvo, and then Corvo, I got to experience like sponsorship with because Tony was connected with War Tribe. He hooked me up, so they were helping me with tournament entries and travel.
You were with War Tribe?
I was with War Tribe. Yeah, early days.
That's fucking sick.
Early days. Yeah, early days. I was with War Tribe, and then so I was doing all these tournaments. Ended up getting second at Nogi Pans at Purple Belt in 2019. Then third at Nogi Worlds at Brown Belt, and then COVID happened. Right, so you couldn't really. I was living at my parents' house at the time because, as you guys know, jiu-jitsu skills don't generally pay the bills. So I had to live with my parents, and then after I met Andrew Wiltsey at Nogi Worlds, he was in my bracket. He won my bracket at Nogi Worlds. So then they were like, "Hey, you should come out, train at Daisy Fresh." And Andrew just like steamrolled the division. He was a freak, dude. So I was like,
colored belts. He was the man.
He was the man. Even early black belt, he did really well, and then he kind of like, you know,
we know the end of the story.
Yeah. Whatever that was. So I went out there, and
you got a shout out though. Remember we were at fucking.
Yeah, he gave me a shout out.
I remember at Pants, he was going on that rep. You look at your phone, you're like, "Fuck."
I was like, "What is he gonna say?" He said only good things. Thank goodness.
Like, just kidding. JB's a good guy. I was like,
"There we go.
There you go."
Schizophrenic
foot.
Yeah. So I was there with them for a bit. I stayed there for like 5 months, trained with them. It was during COVID. I was kind of scared at first of COVID because I was living at my parents' house. Like I said, my parents are a little older. I didn't want to like train and bring COVID back to them. I was like, if I killed my parents, I would be like the worst person ever because I'm like selfishly just doing jiu-jitsu all the time and being a bum.
And Deb's an angel.
Yeah. Shout out Deb Bechtloff.
Yeah. We've stayed at the Bechtloff residence a couple times.
Yeah. If you're ever in the area and we're good friends, I'll send you that way. They're very hospitable. If that's a word.
Talk to John about boats.
Oh, dude, John will tell you about the boats. He spent a lot of time in South Florida. But Daisy Fresh for 5 months, ended up tearing my MCL, and I was just living in the gym. This is kind of miserable when you can't train, so I ended up going back home. I never went back. And then I was training with Marcus Antolante when I came back. It was like all gi. I was teaching the no-gi class there once a week. And then B-Team opens up, right? Yeah. And they're having like applications. So I'm like, all right, I'll apply. They're not going to hit me back, whatever. About a week goes by, something like that, and then I get a direct message from Craig Jones, and I'm like, holy shit, what? Craig just messaged me? And he's like talking to me, he's like, so when can you move? And I was like, now. So he puts me in touch with his like real estate agent. That guy helps us get an apartment. Me and my girlfriend Brooke move down to Austin, and I've kind of just been here ever since. Started off just a gym member, and then ended up getting a front desk gig, and then they started this fundamentals program, teaching the fundamentals still, and yeah, that's pretty much how I got here.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's fucking sick. You definitely, like I said before, like the heart and soul of B team. I mean, you like you're there the most. You've probably been there the longest out of the team members.
I would say,
other than the owners.
It was like me, Aaron Hines, Tony Lugo, Isaac Michelle was there in the early days. Nick Ortiz was there. Just all the coaches from B team. But yeah, that's all I really remember from the very early days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you get the fundamentals program. So you're coaching. You coach the most for sure. Because year round you coach five days a week.
Yes, sir.
And then you cover whenever anyone. And you've helped the most people. Like you're like the fucking welcoming committee. I got here. We started talking a bit. And you're like, yo, come over, hang out. And I was like, all right. And just like hung out.
Yeah.
And then you got me a job. You're like, yo, Seth, this guy's good.
Yeah.
We should let him work here because I had no money.
Right.
And Seth was like, yeah, you're hired.
Yeah, dude, honestly, like...
And then you vouched for me to also get to coach.
Yeah,
you're like,
sure.
You should let him coach.
Yeah, bro.
And I was like, I don't think I'm ready. And you were like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're so good at what you do, you know? I would say that I specialize in hand fighting, particularly, like takedown defense, passing, and front headlock attacks, you know? But as far as, like, teaching people how to do leg locks, I don't really feel super confident in that. So it's like, if we have freaking you, Kieran, Chris, I'm like, have these guys teach. You know what I mean? I can show them what I do really well, but these guys are much better at leg locks. We should have them teach these guys leg locks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't have a class where you're teaching passing to people, but the other people don't have effective threats off their back. So like these guys are learning how to pass with a false sense of security. And then when they go compete, you know, you got people playing false reap and all this nonsense.
Yeah, and you have like it's cool to see that like you're actually like because a lot of guys are like, I'm coaching, I don't want anyone else, but like there's been times where I've been working the desk and you're teaching single leg X and you're like, oh, you're working the desk tonight? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, cool, can you come over and show these guys how to straight ankle?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know how to do it. And you're like, you're better at it than me. So like he'll stop the class and be like, Austin's gonna show something really quick. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, bro. Because dude,
but there's so many people who are like, no, I got it.
No.
But you're just like, no, come here.
I mean, I've straight ankled one person in competition. It was that Javier Saruski from Atos, and he
fucking sick. Though.
But his foot was. He fought Orande right before me.
Dude, that guy's broken so many.
Orande breaks this guy's foot. The guy doesn't tap. He ends up beating Orande, and then I'm about to go against him next. It's like American National semifinal, no-gi absolute, right? So Orande's like, dude, I destroyed his foot. If you get a hold of his foot, just grab it. I guarantee he taps. So sure enough, I'm like, all right, fuck it. Boom. That's the only straight ankle I've ever finished in competition. So I'm like, Austin finishes people. You finish people in straight ankles all the time. That's your big gun. And I'm like, dude, you should be showing that fucking move, not me. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
such a gay big gun.
No, I feel like it's pretty. I feel like straight ankle is pretty readily available. Their foot's always on the floor if they're passing. You know, if you're really good at elevating from that butterfly half. I feel like that's super niche as well. But butterfly half, you know, I don't really spend much time there. I'm more of a immediately wrestle up guy and get back on top. I don't want to spend any time down here.
Yeah, you're so fucking hard to fucking hold down.
I've been referred to by Joseph Chen as a bar of soap, and I take pride in that.
Joey Chen. Dude, I fucking miss that kid.
Dude, I remember when Joseph first got to B Team and nobody knew who he was. He was just like a kid with bleached hair.
Painted hair, like nails too.
I don't remember if he had his nails painted or not. Maybe he did. Wouldn't surprise me. But he did have bleached hair, and I could just see, like, right away, I was like, okay, this kid is going to take over the game. And I told a bunch of people that, and everybody was like, whatever, dude. You don't know. And then I'm like, all right, watch. So after his first trip, he left. He came back for his second trip. I let him stay at my one-bedroom apartment. He stayed with me and Brooke for, like, a month. We took him to every class. Like, he does every class. I mean, like, 8 a.m., noon, 7. You know what I mean? He did all of them. And I was like, holy crap. And he was just studying in his free time, super dedicated and seemed to have like a deeper understanding of what was going on. His rate of progression was insane. Like every time he came back, he was like, he had made so much more progress than me. By like the third time he came back, he was like playing with me, and I was like, this is crazy how good this kid's gotten. But yeah, that kid's different. But we have a kid now, Corbin.
I was just going to say the closest thing I've seen, because I wasn't there for Joseph yet. Joseph's already a huge deal when I got there.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've seen is Corbin.
Yeah. Corbin, another one. He was just visiting from Nebraska with his friends, and I rolled with him, and he's just super flexible, super good guard, super hard to pass. And I had like, at that point, he hadn't like developed where he is now, so still able to like kind of beat him up a little bit. But I realized that like, oh, this kid he's got that Joseph factor. Like he's gonna surpass me. You know what I mean? I'm like talking to him, I'm like, bro, are you gonna move here?
Yeah. And
he's like, I don't know. I'm like, you should fucking move here. Yeah. And then sure enough, here he is now. Got him a job at the front desk as well, so now he's able to train. But that kid, ton of upside. Freaking bangs with Nicky Rod every day.
Yeah,
better than most people. I'd say him and Ben, and Declan, obviously. Yeah. They give Nicky Rod the looks he needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those guys are so good, and they deserve a ton of credit.
I know that was like the one thing. Like when there was shit going. I mean, we're not really going to talk about it, but there was one point where Corbin got something about an infection.
Oh my God.
Someone who worked at the gym at the time.
This was the Jorge regime. Yeah, we can talk about it.
Who wasn't there at the time? It was like, Corbin, you might get kicked out. And then Corbin, I was like talking to Corbin. I was like, just talk to Nick Rod. Like, you're his main sparring partner.
Yeah, he's not going to let you go.
So we went to Nick Rod. He's like, hey, I'm getting kicked out. And then I was actually, I was with Nick Rod. And he was like, yeah, I told Corbin you're fine. I was like, oh, you told him? He's like, yeah, he's like, he texted me all worried. And I was like, you're not getting kicked out.
Yeah. Well, what happened was we went to Nogi Europeans.
And I infected all you guys.
Well, yeah. To be fair,
that's what happened.
It was in his beard, so it was kind of like looked like an ingrown hairs multiple situation. We weren't sure, and then after we came back from Europeans, we basically all had it, and then Corbin didn't know. Corbin's didn't look like the rest of ours, so we were like,
me and you had the exact same.
Yeah, I had the exact, but Corbin had something else, and we weren't sure what it was. So he was kind of like, I don't think it's anything, and he kept training, and then like, that led to that, and then he came in later with staff, and then he asked if he could train, and they told him no, and then he didn't train. And then after that, dictator Jorge suspended him from the gym for 10 days, like right before Nogi Worlds, which was crazy. So that kind of like, I feel like that was his Nogi Worlds journey, insane. He probably won't ever talk about it because he's not a big excuses guy, but it
was fucking nuts.
Yeah, he like missed his flight. He drove from Austin to Vegas through the night, got there for his girlfriend's match. It was crazy. Then he had to cut weight. So he cut a bunch of weight, which for IBJJF is a crazy idea because you weigh in and then you basically like walk to your mat. You don't have like even an hour to rehydrate or anything like that. So, so it was just a crazy, and then he lost to a guy that he should have destroyed.
His car also exploded.
His car failed in Vegas. He had to leave his car in Vegas, come back for it. Crazy. Just a crazy story for him, but ton of upside there.
Ton of, like, the kid's gonna he lost by one advantage to Brandon Reed.
Yeah. And that was if you watch that match, like, no disrespect to Brandon, he had nothing but respect for Corbin.
Yeah, Brandon posted after, he's like, I want to get the fuck away from this kid.
Yeah,
he's apparently 19.
Yeah. Corbin's got some nasty choi bars. I've never seen a person at that size, because he's like 230 pounds, and he can put his feet behind his head, do full splits. So like,
yeah, he's like 6'1", 6'2", 230.
Yeah, big guys are not used to dealing with
strong.
That. And he's
it's
strong.
Like the first time he squatted. And he posted a video of him squatting 405 to like full depth.
Yeah,
where,
he's
like,
a beast.
He's like, that's not even good. He's like, NFL players do this. It's like, they grew up lifting. I was like,
also,
you didn't lift that much.
Listen to yourself. NFL players, these are like the greatest athletes on earth.
I think he could have played football.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. He was more interested in women growing up, apparently. So, that no football for Corbasso. Yeah.
Corbasso, yeah. He's going to be a champion.
Oh, for sure.
He's
good. He just double golded at the London Open.
Yeah.
Which is at purple belt, which I think honestly that kid's already black belt level, but belts are not just handed out at B team. You gotta really work for that. So
no, he could be whatever belt
Yeah.
They gave him whatever belt.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if he was a black belt. I think a lot of people would be happy if he was a black belt, make them feel better about how those roles go.
It's fucking insane. Even I mean, he should probably do brown belt.
Yeah,
but we don't have a say in it.
Yeah, just obviously, yeah. I mean, I could just like sneak promote him, but I think there's people that, because like if you're in the fundamentals class, like at B team, generally we would prefer you to be a blue belt before you come into the pro training, so you're not just like a detriment, you know, so you don't like be spazzy or like even get yourself hurt, like knowing how to train, knowing how to fall, knowing how to.
It's also just going to be better bang for your buck.
Yeah,
if you're a blue belt and you come in.
Yeah. So I could, but we'll let Nicky Rod and Nicky Ryan promote him. He deserves that. That's why people come to B team. They want to get promoted by the big dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But another guy that came in and nobody knew who he was Nick Mattia. When he first, because he has a full-time job. He's a physical therapist at a hospital.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to train at noon. So like when he was coming in at first, I remember he came in at night his first time, and he was just fucking up all my students. And I was like, all right, I gotta fuck this guy up. He's beating up all my guys. You know what I mean? So I go there and I roll with him, and boom, he ducks me, and I'm like, oh, okay, he can wrestle, right?
Yeah.
We have some good exchanges. I got that one back.
That's the Missouri fucking Mallard.
Yeah, the Missouri Mallard, bro. But he trained exclusively at night and Saturday mornings for, I don't know, at least 6 months to like a year.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, if he got a day off work, he'd come in at noon, and I was just pushing on everybody. I was like, hey, this kid is fucking good. Like, he's a freak athlete. He works hard. He's sturdy. He's not you know what I mean? Like, you see him in the weight room. I don't know if I've ever seen him fail in the weight room. Like today, we just squatted. He was like box squatting 4 plates, like nothing, just throwing it around. And he weighed $177 today.
Yeah, he looks like a pitbull.
Yeah, you guys should maybe switch weight classes for that team event.
I mean, the whole everyone keeps saying that. They're like, well, why are you guys doing that? And I'm like, Nick gets to pick. Like, unfortunately, the way sports. I mean, when I grew up playing fucking sports,
yeah.
If you're the same position as a guy and he's fucking better than you, like you can be, I don't know. Some people are like, you don't have confidence. I have confidence, but I also know who gets the better of me. Nick's better than I am.
We train every day.
Yeah. So like he who gets better of the rounds gets to pick who cuts.
Yeah.
That's just the fucking, that's how sports works.
Yeah, it's true.
So they went to Nick and they're like, what do you want? 88 or 77? He said, I want 88. So they came to me. They're like, all right.
77.
Do you want like we want you? Do you want 77? And I was like, I just want to be on the team. I can make 77. It's not a big deal. It's 24 hours before. I can make it. I'm like my body's made for cutting weight, but I am pretty heavy. But like, I can get it done. And then I came in the other day and Nick was like, let's switch. And I was like, you don't have to feel bad. I can make it.
Yeah. I was talking to him today while we were working out, and he's open to the switch because he's 177 right now, and he's eating whatever he wants.
Yeah, I was 190 last night.
Sounds to me like a switch would be better for the team, but again, you guys,
it's up to him. I mean, I'll do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that he frustrates me a lot because, again, I train with him all the time. I see how good he is in training. Like, if you guys saw, I mean, I guess you do see a lot of clips of him on the internet getting in good scraps, but
yeah, YouTube.
He is so good, and like, in my opinion, I think if he was competing at the capacity that he can train, like he can beat anybody. You know what I mean? It's just he needs to get out there more and get a little better at competing, and then I think he
was on a fucking.
He's going to blow up.
I think we need to give him a little bit of grace. He went on like a 15-match streak there.
Yeah,
where he was beating everyone.
Yeah,
and we were like, oh,
yeah.
Maybe he's out of it. Then the Cam Hurd one was just like
that was a oopsie. That was a big. He was dominating the match. He big takedown off the underhook. Gets to his leg drag, which is his spot. You know, he's chasing the back, and just oopsie choi bar. But like, you know, no disrespect to Cam. I just think that he's got no business beating Nick. I think Nick wins that 99 times out of 100.
And like, and Cam's a really nice guy.
Yeah, I do like Cam a lot.
It's not talking down to Cam. It's
just I know what Nick's capable of.
I see Nick every day.
But I guess to be fair, I've never trained with Cam, so I don't know what Cam's capable of. Maybe he's competing.
I just trained with him.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't train with him. I competed against him.
Yeah. Nick should be getting that. Nick is so good.
No offense to Cam. I mean, me and him went to a ref's decision. He definitely got the better. I mean, it wasn't like a fucking robbery. He definitely got the better.
No,
of it.
Dude, he seems to be competing. He's on a tear right now. He's killing it. He's
but if you put me and Nick in a round for 9 minutes,
You're in
getting
trouble.
my guard passed.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
I'm nearly getting subbed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can catch him with a lucky footlog, but like,
I mean, lucky you hit him with the big gun, bro. I would pop.
but like
that's your shit.
Nick in 9 minutes can fucking. I mean, there's enough rounds out there.
Yeah.
You can see what Nick does.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess we should talk about the team. We got Roman at 66.
Roman 66.
Super tough, super good wrestler.
This is like the hard cut team. Roman's big right now. I'm fucking big right now.
Yeah, but Roman's grown up wrestling. He's super comfortable cutting weight, I'm certain. He's another one. I can't wait to see him compete as good as he trains, because that kid is so much upside there. He trains so hard. He's like one of Ethan's main training partners.
He's there every day.
He's there every day.
He lifts.
Dog. Oh, yeah. Dude, he's strong, too.
Strong.
Oh, my gosh, in the weight room. That kid moves weight for how tiny he is. It's super impressive. And then you at 77, kind of talking about you, Nick at 88. And then Colin, our 10th planet import.
Yeah.
He's solid, too.
He's
super
solid.
wrestled at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Super
crazy.
good wrestling. Incredible cardio. And Gumby on the legs scares the shit out of me.
Bro.
But he has some bendy feet, knees, hips. He's hard
Crazy.
to catch. Yeah, he's hard to catch. He's good. Colin's super tough. And the gas tank on him. I don't know how long the matches are for the quintet, but
I think it's 8s.
yeah.
8s or 6s.
That kid can go 15, no problem.
I think our biggest ace in the hole for this rule set's Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin at 99. He's
Corbin's at 99 and it's sub only.
yeah, that's excellent for him.
Send Corbin. I
Yeah.
feel like Corbin could take out a whole team.
Probably could.
He can just choi. He's
Choi.
so hard to tap.
Yeah, hard to pass.
Hard to do anything too.
Yeah, he's a dog.
And he's good at leg locks.
Oh yeah, super well, and he's learning how to wrestle. He's starting to wrestle now, which is terrifying. It's like, oh my god, your guard was
Passing's
already
been good too.
Yeah, his passing's always been good. I just feel like his ability to get on top and stay on top has been the issue with like higher level guys. But like now, geez, yeah, now that his wrestling's getting good, that's terrifying. I haven't seen any of the other teams in that event, but the team that B team is bringing is pretty
The other team they announced is actually pretty good. They got Henrique Camargo
yeah, he's super tough.
and
Trained with that guy.
Ramos.
Yeah.
These are like the two big guns on that team.
Yeah. Ramos is Dominic again.
Dom's a dog.
Dom's a dog, dude. He's still over at Corvo. Been trying to get him to move, but I think he's doing well out there. So
He's got a lady out there and everything too.
I think his lady actually lives here.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Get your ass out here, Dom.
was like trying to make excuses for him. I was like, oh,
No, he's I don't know. He's happy where he's at. He's doing good. He's competing well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know.
yeah. You're another fucking guy though that like. I mean, we talk about it enough, so I don't even have to say it. You don't compete to your full potential.
No, I feel like when I finished college wrestling, well, first of all, I started wrestling super late. The only season of high school wrestling that I got was my senior season. So like, and I wasn't even varsity. I was JV my senior year. Super excellent, yeah. And I didn't even know that was possible. It is a thing. And then I walked onto a college team, New Mexico Highlands University. Shout out Coach Moses. He's the fucking man. He let me walk on, and I basically learned everything in college, which was, I wouldn't recommend that for the record. Definitely took a toll on my body.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, but I've always worked super hard. I've always been like super into like lifting weights, and I was training jiu-jitsu, so I knew how to grapple.
You have your doctorate in exercise science. No,
master's.
master's.
Yeah, not quite a doctorate. I thought about that when I.
Still, you're probably like the one of 7 people with a master's degree in this sport. It's fucking true.
Too bad it's in exercise science. It's not super useful. You try to get a job at Gold's Gym as a personal trainer, and they want you to get a 2-month certification. Your master's degree means
Bro, that's
nothing.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Like,
but,
you have CanFit Pro. You're like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, it's
A
ridiculous.
master's degree.
Yeah, it's like it means nothing. They're like, oh, cool. How about your certs? And I'm like, oh, okay. Fuck me.
It's called a college fucking degree.
Yeah, I guess 6 years of school and a dissertation wasn't enough. You know what I mean? But I forgot where I was going with that. Who are we talking about?
You competing. Not
Oh yeah. When I finished college wrestling, we were competing like, dude, 2 times a week during season, 2 duels, tournament. You know, I was on fire after that. When I initially came back, the 2019 is when I like placed at Worlds at adult. I was on fire, and then COVID happened, and I didn't compete for a while after that. And I tore my MCL, so I was out for like 5 or 6 months. Didn't compete much, and then I kind of like I still had the fire. I got to B team, and I was like trained with Craig a lot, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's the second best. Fuck,
Yeah.
like we're not closing the gap at all. on this guy. And then I was competing in Austin a lot, and I was getting like fucking tough matches, like John Carlo fucking
took John Carlo to a decision.
No, I lost. He caught me in overtime. I took it through regulation 0-0, and then in OT he shot like a low single on me, and we were super wet. So I don't know how he hung onto my foot, but I kind of like sat on him and tried to spin backwards. He was somehow able to hang on to my ankle. So he ended up on top of me in turtle. And I'm really good at escaping turtle, especially with like one hook in. So I'm doing my thing where I'm going to like time him trying to throw this hook in and turn on top. And as I'm turning on top, he slapped on a really good triangle. And to be honest, I was fucking exhausted. That guy was so heavy and strong and good. And I was like...
Yeah, it was right before his ADCC run.
Yeah, that was right before he won ADCC. So like we didn't know... I knew he was good, but I didn't know how good he was. So I lost that match and I was like, fuck, whatever. And then he goes and wins ADCC. And I'm like, well, I did better than most of those guys. So that's cool. Yeah, like I made it to OT. But yeah, and then like... I was competing a ton in Austin, and then I had my last 2 matches on like a pro stage were Ryan Aiken and Achilles Rocha.
You looked fucking sick against Achilles.
Until I didn't.
It's just your fucking...
yeah, my feet are made of glass, so I don't even really ever attack leg locks. He just gave me backside 50-50, so I get a hold of his heel, he backsteps, and I'm like, I have his heel, and I'm looking at him like, you're going to make me do this.
Yeah, too nice.
And then it just obliterated my foot in a toe hold, so that was cool. And I was like, man, that sucks. But all props to him. That was super good on his part to like, because early on it was going real well for me. I hit a nice slide by, I got behind him, and then it was going good until it wasn't.
Dude, I was living in a camper in Canada because I went home for the summer and Emily was still here.
Yeah.
So I was like living out of my dad's house in like this little fucking camper that was like the size of this table.
Yeah.
And I was watching that on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I was just screaming when you hit the slide by. I was like, he's fucking gonna choke him. And then all of a sudden you tapped, and I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, my foot exploded. That was crazy. And then I had Ryan Aiken after that on main character. And I've competed with Ryan like 3 times now. The last time we competed before main character was Subversive. It was actually combat jiu-jitsu, which he's like the best at, which is odd because he doesn't strike anyone. He just does jiu-jitsu. But I lost him on riding time and EBI overtime. So I was feeling confident going into that match.
He's just good at fucking EBI.
Yeah, he's really good at EBI. But his butterfly half guard is fucking sick. So
yeah, he's got who is that? Sean Applegate.
Yeah, dude. Shout out Sean. That guy's.
He told me I should go down there.
Dude, you should.
Your game's so similar to theirs,
bro. I think Sean could help you a lot. Sean is super knowledgeable, super good coach, super cool guy. I got nothing but good things to say about
Chris
Sean.
Chris really highly of him too.
Yeah, and he's got that Kevin Boering out there, super tough, super young too. I didn't realize he's got like a full beard and stuff, and he's kind of like stoic. I didn't realize.
How old is he?
I think he's like 21 or something like that.
Oh,
super young. He's super young,
yeah.
and he's got a ton of upside. I was just out there working with them, showing them some wrestling and stuff, and he picked up on stuff super quickly. I was like, oh, okay, I see why he's so good. You show him something like once, and he's using it in training immediately, right?
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, Ryan ends up catching me on main character rather quickly. I fell right into his arm crunch, and then I ended up we had, like I said, we fought 2 times previously, so he kind of knew my like deep half wrestle up game. And again, shout out to him and his coaches because they made adjustments, and I tried to go right to my game, and he immediately had a perfect reaction and went to a back triangle and ended up catching me. And then after those 2 back-to-back losses that kind of happened rather quickly, I was very discouraged. And even like in the main character match, like right before the match started, and again, no excuses. All props, Ryan. I tried as hard as I could. Just being there though before the match, I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I was like, I don't really want to be here right now.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay. So after that, I was like, I'm going to take a little break from competing. And then, I'm fucking a dinosaur in this sport. I'm like 32 now. So I was like, let's do Master 1 and fucking rack up some wins, build up the confidence.
I think that was the best thing you could have done. Oh, can I have it, Zin?
Yeah.
I think that was the best thing you could have done. Because I remember before that, what the fuck is his name?
Before the main character match?
Yeah, how am I forgetting his name right now? Ryan Aiken.
Yeah.
Before the Ryan match, I remember you were talking, you're like, bro, I didn't want to fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And you're like, I'm kind of over it. Like, I've been doing it for so long. Yeah. Fuck this. And I remember I was like on a big skid there too. And I said the same thing to you. I was like, dude, I'm over it too. And I remember you were like, you've been at it like a quarter of the time as me. Shut the fuck up. And I was like, fair. Like, you're not fucking done it. You just keep starting. You just started to stop.
Yeah.
Fucking talking. He's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, bro, you're so new in this game, you know, like you need to stick it out. There's a lot of upside for you here. I was just like, man, 15 years of this. I had like a catastrophic shoulder injury in college wrestling. I had a full labrum and bicep tear. I had to have like my shoulder reconstructed. Went to 3 doctors for that. The first 2 doctors were like, yeah, you're never gonna do combat sports again. And this is in like 2016, 2017. And I'm like, okay, that's not the answer I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then I end up going to this Dr. Jeb Reed, who does the shoulder surgeries for the U.S. Olympic ski team, or he did at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still does. And he was like, brother, I've had 3 shoulder reconstructions from skiing. And he's like, and I still ski. He's like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's
fuck
the guy you want.
Yeah. So he's like, look, this thing is fucked. It looks like a bomb went off in there. He's like, it definitely isn't going to be the same, but I can tighten it up. We'll sacrifice some mobility for stability. It's not going to come out, but it's going to be stiff. And it is stiff. It is stiff. And then I came back. That was right before my senior year of college wrestling. So I did another year of college wrestling with the super stiff shoulder, and it just like, I definitely wasn't the same competitor that year because I was so scared of
blowing it up again.
Blowing anything and having surgery and having to, because, bro, the shoulder surgery, I couldn't train for 9 months.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, 9 months, I can't train. My arm turned into, like, my entire arm was, like, the width of my wrist. So, it was, like, my arm was super skinny, and I remember trying to come back and being like, holy shit, like, this is just rebuilding my entire left arm and relearning how to use it, and then relearning how to, like, move with an arm that doesn't have, like, full range of motion was super tough. But then, you know, we bounced back. Another year after that, I'm like, all right, we're good. And I was a bit of like I was so paranoid about every injury. I was like, oh my God, am I going to have surgery? Like, oh shit, yeah. Every time. So got over that. That's super hard to get over coming back from, because man, 9 months is crazy. When jiu-jitsu is like your identity and like all you do, and then you have like 9 months where that's taken away, and you just have to like reinvent yourself to a certain extent, and then that's just terrifying to have to go through that. So I was so scared of having to go through, and dude, honestly, the pain, oh my God, the first 12 days post-op, you can't shower, you can't lay down. Like, I had to sleep in a recliner sitting up with my arm in this stupid brace. Like,
that's fucked.
So it's like the first 12 days was like torture. You're just in excruciating pain all the time. You can't sleep, you can't shower. Just like it really, like, that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever gone through in my life. That was super tough. So I was terrified of that happening again. But yeah, you come back, and then again back to like why when I'm after the Ryan Aiken match, I'm like, man, my body is fucked, and I'm still trying to train jiu-jitsu every day, and these kids are just getting younger and younger and better and better, and there's just more of them. Like Daniel Dieter, another kid, ton of upside. He's getting really good, really fast, and he's like 19 or something like that. And all these kids just keep coming in, and they're younger, and they're dedicated, and they're healthy, and I'm just like,
and they put like a target on your back.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you've been here for 2 years?
For sure. And I'm just like, man, if I'm going to have to make my living off of competing with these guys that are like willing to let shit break, you know, willing to do whatever it takes to win. And I'm like, man, my body is already at a point where like I am concerned with how I'm going to be when I'm older. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to coach and train and like lift and be healthy for the rest of my life. So after I did that, like Worlds, or I was Europeans, Pans, and Worlds run at Master One, which went pretty well, thankfully. And yeah. And then after that, I'm just like, you know what?
We did all those together.
Yeah, that was I love that. I love that's okay. IBJJF, I know, catches a lot of heat. The rules are kind of suspect. You can get presented.
I don't give a fuck.
But
I hate that.
It is a good fucking time, bro. You go in there with your boys. You're banging on the yellow barricades. It's fucking sick, bro.
It does get a bad rap, and I'm not going to say I agree with what they do, and I've never seen their books, and I don't like, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
You gotta fucking make lemonade out of lemons. It's the only fucking circuit
that
we have.
Yeah.
And for guys who aren't getting invited to 80cc and the guys, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's still motherfuckers. Like, everyone's always like, dude, I lost a couple of opens and I come back and guys were like, how are you losing opens?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a whole world of like Brazilian kids out there that we don't know of.
Yeah. And they're literally winning IBJJF medals for their citizenship.
Yeah.
So that they can send money back to their parents in the favelas and take care of their families. Like, it's not just like, oh, I signed up for this tournament and I want to win because I want to be better at jiu-jitsu. It's like, oh, this is like, for them, this is their life. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, and realizing that, like, if you sign up for an IBJJF at like purple belt or above, even blue belt, dude, there's probably going to be some super tough Brazilian kid you've never heard of that's super good in that rule set.
Go have a match with Jacob Borne.
Dude, he's not even Brazilian. Yeah, but you'll see him. That's not a good time, you know?
He does IBJJFs all the fucking time. He's a purple belt.
A lot of the guys that are active are doing them.
Tell me IBJJF suck after you have a match with Jacob Borne. You never had a match with him, don't know him. I watch him and I'm like, stay at purple.
Yeah, stay there, please.
He's like, yeah, I'm doing medium heavy now. I was like, I'm doing heavy.
Yeah, he got huge. And he's always been when I was at Daisy First, that kid is a freak. He's like 5'8", 5'9", and he can like windmill slam dunk a basket.
You know, he was I forget where I heard this. Maybe it was from you. Heisen went there.
Oh yeah, and they had a race.
Jacob was like, I'm more athletic than you.
Yeah.
And Heisen was like, no, you're not. Because he looks kind of like a little hillbilly kid.
I mean, he is. His nose is flat from just ramming his face.
He looks like a statue of an old wrestler.
Yeah, yeah. But the kid's had a crazy life, dude. He's grown up out there in Illinois, and like, dude, for a while there, he was doing bull riding. Like, completely tore his rotator cuff.
He's a fucking nut.
Busted a tooth out. His face is messed up from riding bulls.
But your balance gets so good from riding bulls.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's a freak. He can do like super backflips where his feet almost like touch the ceiling. I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen an athlete like that that didn't have like some kind of, like, he didn't have this crazy upbringing where his dad, I guess his dad did play in the NFL. That is a factor. And they have a nice weight room at his house, but that kid's always been strong as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Or training with him for the first time. I had already wrestled in college. He had just trained at Daisy Fresh for the summers and stuff growing up. And like, bro, he's like blast doubling college wrestlers. And I'm like,
yeah, dude, Brandon Reed posts about him. And he's like, man, I make myself do rounds with Jacob because it kills my ego. Yeah. Because I wrestled for so long and I'm way bigger. And like,
oh, he can just pick you up.
He's like, he's hard to score on. Yeah. Like, we'll go 0-0 wrestling rounds.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Like,
he's a freak.
Fuck, bro.
Actually,
I'm not saying anything on a turn. Brandon posted that. That's how I learned about that.
No, Brandon always, he gives credit where credit is due. So props to him. But yeah, Jacob, I was actually like, Jacob, you know, instead of living in this gym with like no access to a shower and stuff, maybe you should wrestle in college and get a degree, you know, so you can like have other options in your life. And if you wrestle in college, I promise you, after that's over, you're going to be a better grappler at the end of it, better competitor.
Yeah.
So he ended up going to Lindenwood to wrestle. And then I think he
walked on, right?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he got a starting spot. Like, he's a stud. And then I think they closed down the program or something, or maybe he got in trouble. I don't know what happened, but that fell through and now he's just doing jiu-jitsu. But yeah, that kid's a freak, dude.
Yeah.
Freak.
But like, you have like guys like that, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember we would come back and like there was guys like, obviously, here's my thing with the whole IBJJF thing. Like,
well, I hate to cut you off, but it's definitely a money grab, right?
It's definitely a money grab.
Way too expensive.
Way too expensive.
The Gracie Baja originator, what was it? Is it Carlos Gracie who made up the IBJJF? He's got to be rolling. Well, Carlos might be dead. Whoever invented
but his son is still around. He's Carlos Jr.
Whoever's running that, they are rolling in dough.
Yeah. And
like, they're making more than enough money to pay athletes, it's at least winners or podiums or even absolute podium. Like, if Naga can pay fucking $500 for you to win weight class and absolute, there's no reason IBJJF can't do that for at least the expert division, the black belt division. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. It seems kind of greedy. And the rules, you know, are like, and it does seem to be a little bit biased. I hate to say it, but I mean, how are you not going to help out your fellow countrymen?
Well, and they do, though.
Yeah. How are you?
There's rumors on who they pay.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Salary.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So nice. But
we heard some people went to a certain, I'm not going to say who, some people went to a certain gym for a bit and they came back and like, did you guys know that this guy gets paid by IBJJF? And we were like, what? And I was like, yeah, he's like on like a, X amount, and they told me how much money it was a year, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
No,
that's nice.
fuck.
Yeah,
I bet you they're not paying Adam Wardzinski.
Oh, definitely not.
Shout out to that guy.
Adam is the man.
When he retired, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that made
I
me
was like,
sick.
you fucking did it, though.
Yeah, he did everything.
Like, he's literally like, you want to get motivated?
Yeah.
Watch his post where he put in his notes where it's like first round loss, 20, like, and it's like 12 years of like every major. Like, I think the farthest he made it was like second round.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like bronze. And then it was like gold, grand slam.
Yeah.
Then like wins worlds again. And he's like, I'm fucking out. And I was like, hell yeah.
Honestly, the way to do it, because after you've already won everything, why stick around and give these fuckers a chance to beat you?
And he's got a kid. Like, whenever I see him at tournaments, like, I don't know Adam. I'd love to train with Adam. But, like, whenever I see him at tournaments, he's, like, walking around with a stroller with his kid.
Yeah.
His wife's there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, fuck this.
Also, like, dude, you don't realize how big that guy is.
He's fucking massive.
Until you see him in person. You watch his instructionals.
I thought me and him had the same body type.
Yeah, same. I was like, oh, okay, this guy's about my size. This should work for me. I see him in person. I'm like, we're not the same.
His legs are huge.
He's huge.
His upper body might be the same size as mine, but I saw his legs and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's also 3 inches taller than me.
That's a big guy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big
but yeah, like, I don't beat, I mean, any gym, like, whoever, like, the head honcho is, everyone kind of agrees. You know what I mean? And, like, Craig hits the nail on the head a lot of the stuff. Like I said, like, it is a money grab. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And if I was Craig or Nick Rod or Ethan, I'm not doing IBJJFs.
Yeah, probably not.
Because why would I?
Yeah.
But if I'm Austin Cinos,
Yeah. But also, to be fair,
And I'm
Ethan
coming up.
did do some IBJJF.
that's what I mean. So, like, every time we came back, people in the gym were like, it's not going to help your career and no one cares and blah, blah, blah. It's
yeah.
like, man, it's great competition. And also, my whole thing is, like, if you're a blue belt telling me that it's not going to help me and fuck it, and you're just reciting the Craig story, it's like, number one, you're not Craig.
Yeah.
Number two, to me, it's like, did you win any of them?
Yeah.
They're like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. So you sound like the guy who hit on a girl at a bar, and when she said no, then you're like, well, she sucks anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Sour grapes, bro.
okay, yeah, that's what it is. It's sour fucking grapes. So it's like, I'll talk more shit about it
Yeah.
once I win them. And then I'll come out on my high horse and be like, you know what? I'm over these.
Yeah.
But until I win one or make it to ADCC or do anything like that,
Yeah.
the IBJJF is, I can't get bronze at Euros and then lose Pans and Worlds and be like, you know what? I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Yeah.
Fuck this tournament.
It's all their fault.
It's all their fault.
It's all their fault. Yeah.
That's another thing, too, is kids come back and like, the fucking refs suck. I'm like, dude, you got darsed.
It's a victim mentality.
I'm like, you got darsed. The ref didn't put you in a darst.
Yeah. That was actually something I was talking about with Daniel Dieter when we went to the Nogi Pans. He definitely had like a very controversial call that caused him to lose the match. But what I told him after is like, as long as you blame the loss on extenuating circumstances or something that's like out of your control, then in your mind you've made it that it's out of your control and you're not going to make adjustments to make improvements. You always have to understand that it is in your control. Like, yeah, you lost because of that call, but why was the match that close?
Yeah.
Was that his fault that you weren't just fucking this guy up? You know what I mean?
Also,
Like,
we all know the rules.
yeah, you know, especially him, dude. Dieter's been, dude, I'm pretty sure he won like the Brasileiras when he was like 5 or something.
Yeah,
dude, he's
yeah,
like, you're probably 9. I don't know how old he was, but like, he's been training like as long as I have, but he's 19. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. So he knows the rules and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you can't blame. And he immediately switched out of it. He was like, you're right. Totally. And he makes adjustments and he's improved so much since then. I'm sure if he saw that kid now,
Everyone
subbed immediately. Yeah.
Everyone gets like 20 minutes.
Yeah. You get 20 minutes.
20
to be
minutes
sad.
and like shut the fuck up.
Yeah, then
You know what
fuck
I mean?
off. Yeah.
Like, I'm bad for that. Sometimes it'll take an hour, but
An hour.
but no, it's the same. I mean, at Worlds this year, like I had that match with that Andre kid first round,
Yeah.
and I felt so good. I was like, I'm fucking this guy up.
Yeah.
And he just didn't engage. He got an advantage, and then I like chased him out of bounds 3 times, and then it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I was fucking mad after.
I was also fucking mad.
Everyone was mad.
was in
You
the
were
corner.
yelling. Everyone was yelling, and I was like fucking pissed. And then I like walked off, and people were coming up to me being like, "You have to do a breakdown of that match because you can make so much funny shit of like him running and all
Him
this."
running,
And then I thought of it, and I did make the breakdown. I
Yeah.
did. And then I read, and then I listened to it, and I was like, "You sound like a hoe," because you know what could have helped this if you would have wrestled more in practice, or if you would have done wrestling up. Or like if you like, there's so many things I could have done to get connection to the guy. Like, it's not my fault. He played the game that I signed up for
Right.
by the rules
Yeah.
and won.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know how you solve that? My false reap, if I would have held on and heel hooked him.
Yeah. That's it.
Then guess what? There's no fucking rules.
Yeah.
Like, you know
but also, I think the main thing that's wrong with jiu-jitsu in all rule sets across the board, except for CJI, because they've implemented this pit, and now the UFC, they've kind of like stolen the pit idea, turned it into a fishbowl, but it's the same fucking thing. Because in wrestling, in freestyle wrestling, there's a push-out rule. Every time you get pushed out, it's a point.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I'm not saying that even necessarily that needs to be the rule, but even in American wrestling, collegiate wrestling, right? There's not necessarily a push-out rule. But, bro, if I'm coming at you and I'm attacking, and you just back up and go out of bounds, like 3, 4, 5, 6.
Or if you turn out of a single leg and visibly jump.
Yeah, it's like this needs to be penalized. Like the stall calls in jiu-jitsu need to be because like the fact that you watch even at ADCC where they let him roll in the concrete, which is absurd.
I hate that shit.
So dangerous and just not worth it for a fucking plastic medal. You know what I mean? Like because you could get so seriously injured. Like,
Bro, that's all I thought of with me and Cam when we had our match.
Yeah,
I was like, right when we went to overtime, I was like, okay, concrete is to this side of me and that side.
Yeah.
If I shoot, I'm shooting this way because if this motherfucker suplexes me on my head, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, you probably die.
Yeah,
it's concrete.
Like,
you do have a thick skull though. No, but like they need to implement some jiu-jitsu rule sets that aren't in a pit, which I understand. A pit is like.
Can't make a pit ever.
You can't always have a pit. I understand that. But there needs to be some kind of stall call or penalty for people who are just constantly. Yeah. You see it all the time, dude. Like I was just watching Hunter Colvin versus Placido on the ADCC, the Dallas Open. And like the amount of times that Placido was pushing Hunter to the edge and Hunter was just accepting backing out because he knows he's just going to get a reset and not get penalized is crazy.
But ADCC, he can still shoot.
Right, but you should have to circle in.
Oh, okay.
You should have to circle in. Like, if you're backing up, and I get in arguments coaching all the time. People are like, this isn't wrestling. I'm like, it's grappling, bro. If you're backing up, you're stalling. You're 100% stalling. If you're disengaging and backing up, and I've chased you off the mat more than twice, brother, what are we doing? You know, you're just going to reset every time. Then that's why jiu-jitsu is so fucking unwatchable.
Yeah.
You know, aside from like stalling positions, like in the gi, probably like 50-50, but like
50-50 lasso.
Yeah. That kind of shit. Like, okay, I don't know how you fix that, but the backing out and the disengaging and the resets, I can fix that really fucking quick. Every time you back out of bounds, dude, here's a penalty. 3 of these and you're done. Let's get this guy the fuck out of here and let's move on with the fucking tournament. If you can't circle in and address the action, then bro, you shouldn't fucking be in there, you know? Because it's like one of these things you watch UFC fighters and you're like, I hate that this guy fucking just takes people down and wrestles. And it's like, yeah, but you're not in there. You know what I mean? Like, do you know how scary it is to like get fucking hit in the head? You know, like, yeah, I'm probably going to take the guy down too and try and hold him down, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like, But actually, like, running away from the match, like, okay, you probably shouldn't be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't sign up for the match if you're going to just run away the whole time.
Yeah.
You have to engage. You got to come forward.
That was the funniest thing. We went to Pan's, and we stayed at your parents', and Yogi was there.
Oh, Yogi. Shout out Luis Terrazas, Gracie Baja, New Mexico.
He's the fucking man.
He's
such a funny dude. But he was competing in Black Belt Ultra. Or super.
His big fat boys, yeah.
He's a big boy. But we never got to see full. I knew JB did the 15-year or did the gi, and I didn't know you knew how to speak a little bit of Portuguese though, and like came up with like Brazilians and shit.
Yeah.
Because you're American as fuck.
Yeah.
And you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
So you're like the anti that.
Yeah.
Then you did that. So like we went to a couple like IBJJFs, and I'm hearing these coaching cues from JB. I'm like, what the fuck? Like he knows like what the fuck? Like he knows like all these like little intricate things, and he's like arguing like the way you're supposed to. He's like, professor this, professor that. I'm like, holy shit. But we were at this thing and we're in the stands. And JB's yelling because like we backed out. He lost to the judge, which is also conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And the judge just kept running out of bounds.
Yeah. Oh, when he fought the ref. He fought the head ref Yeah. Luis fought the head ref. The big, I don't know his name, but watching him grapple is terrible. It's absolutely unwatchable.
But you pushed him out of bounds. Might have been 5 times.
Dude.
And they didn't do anything. And JB's yelling. He's like, he's literally chasing him around. He's pushing him out. And one of this guy's team members, this fat fuck, turns around in the stands And I have PTSD from the Kieran situation. And this guy turns around and goes, "This isn't fucking wrestling," to JB. And JB looks at me, he's like, "Oh, yeah? It's still a fucking rule, though." And then 2 seconds later, the guy got warned. He's like, "Oh, it looks like I was right." And we all just started breaking down, laughing so hard.
That was a huge win for me.
Oh, it was just like, it shut down. All of a sudden, like the guy got a warning. He just looks at me. He's like, "Oh, looks like I was right." And the guy just said nothing the rest of the time. But seeing JB do full IBJJF or at Euros, I could hear you guys fucking screaming.
Oh, losing it. Well, when your boy's competing, for some reason, you care so much more than when it's yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine how Craig must feel when he's cornering UFC fights, because that's so scary.
Declan tells me it's the worst.
Yeah,
he corners MMA guys.
I've cornered a couple MMA guys coming up when I was a lot younger, like King of the Cage, small scale shows and stuff. But like, the last thing you want to see is your boy get knocked the fuck out
into a fucking
lip. And he's like not moving. Like, that's horrible, especially when you've been there to see all the fucking work he's putting in, all the sacrifice. Like, he's got a job, he's got kids, he's got a wife, and then he just gets fucking smoked. Thankfully, it's never happened when I've been in the corner. My guy's never been just put out, which is thank God. But like, you don't want to fucking see that. But IBJJF, I just don't want to see my boy lose.
Yeah.
You know, especially because I know how hard you are on yourself and shit.
Yeah.
and I know how good you are. And you got to understand, even something, dude, Craig told me this when I was competing a lot. He was like, "Man, you get out there a lot and you lose a lot. You just got to have a couple good days." He's like, me and Lachlan had a couple good days. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he had that 80cc run where he like sub Leandro Lowe, sub Murillo Santana, and then he had the match with Gordon Ryan, where it's like, oh shit, he almost broke his arm, or he did probably break his arm. I don't know how the fuck Gordon didn't tap to that. It's insane. Every time I see that armbar, I'm like, wow. But props to Gordon for that guy.
Even fucking Deck, dude. Like, Deck went on a fuck. We didn't even talk about that. But there's people. Oh, we got a couple minutes. Deck fucking, like loses to Kynan twice.
Yeah.
Loses Felipe.
That's such a tough fucking.
Goes to Aiga, and he pulls that savage Dagestani guy who's beaten everyone. He beat Luke Griffith, but because he has not, like, no one knows him, they're like, oh, he lost to someone. And it's like, no, the guy was a stud.
You just haven't seen that part of the world.
But then Declan goes and just kills Felipe Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And honestly, a lot of people were sleeping on my boy. I knew Declan was going to win that fucking match.
We all fucking did.
I figured that. So, first of all, crazy Philippe decides to wrestle Declan. Because I was like, Philippe is going to pull guard for sure. He has to know that Declan's going to out-wrestle him by a long shot.
I was like, no.
So he stands with Declan, crazy, manages to recover his guard, goes to 50-50, and like he's in this heel hook, Declan's belly down. Felipe's heel is literally pointing in the same direction as his knee. He has his fucking foot turned all the way around. I know Felipe's a freak. He's super flexible. He'll probably bounce back in no time. But like, for me, that's a career-ending injury.
Yeah, my hip's going to get torn from that.
Bro, hip, your knee's gone. Yeah. Like, I just can't believe that guy didn't tap. But if you didn't know how good Declan is, maybe now you have an idea. But the guy's been scrapping with Nick Rod.
16 years, too.
Yeah, and he's been training. He's been in the game forever. He works so hard. He teaches the 8 a.m. If you're in Austin and you can make it to the 8 a.m., catch class with Declan, it's going to be fucking good. He cares. He's a nice guy. He's going to give you the time of day. And he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
And like you guys are both passionate about coaching.
Yeah. I'm sort of trying to make that transition into more of a coaching role. Yeah. You know, after I get situated with like a proper job and my child is like, and my wife or my girlfriend or fiance, sorry, let me get that right, are settled in, I would like at some point to maybe get on a bunch of steroids and come back and win trials. But yeah, it's just like, right now, I just don't care. And to compete at the level that I would have to compete at, you have to fucking care. Like, the problem I think for me is like I've been in it so long that I've either competed against or trained with like almost everyone. Yeah. So I'm pretty much friends with everyone. And I don't know, I'm just the type of guy that like I can see that this person wants it so bad. And I'm like, I actually don't care. I don't need this at all. And I'm like,
that might make you better though.
Maybe at some point, but right now it's just like my mind's not in the right place. And I've been doing a ton of yoga. I've been lifting weights. Shout out D1 training in Jollyville. It's where I'm working now. They're writing my programming. It's sick. I'm fixing my body. I'm trying to get my shoulder mobility right, get my legs big and strong, come back bigger, better, faster, stronger, and in a good headspace, and then maybe make another run at trials at some point. But right now, just kind of like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, just focus on making money. Really, you have a baby, and it just changes everything, bro.
Yeah.
Like, while Brooke was pregnant, it was everybody's like, "How do you feel? What do you like? Are you ready?" And I'm like, well, while she was pregnant, it was like, yeah, she's pregnant, but for some reason, it just wasn't like. I still felt like everything was the same. But then, like, once she gives birth and you hold the baby, it's like, oh, everything has changed now. You know what I mean? It's just
It's funny to see you in full dad mode.
Yeah, I never thought
changing diapers.
Yeah, because like when I was younger, I'm like, man, there's nothing that could ever happen in my life that I'll ever stop training jiu-jitsu all day, every day. Like, I love this so much. It prevented me from like getting jobs all the way up to this point. Like, just being a jiu-jitsu bum for the last 16 years, never thinking that was going to change, and then holding a baby and being like, all I care about is fucking making money. So,
we gotta wrap this up. I mean, fuck. If no one came through that door, I was just gonna let this ride for like another hour, but they're waiting. But I will say, Declan ends this with all the time. I mean, you kind of just touched on it. What's the end goal for J-Bear?
Man, I would love to have my own gym one day.
Yeah,
I'd love to have my own gym. I'm working a lot with RDA right now. Rafael Dos Anjos, former UFC champion.
Yeah, maybe you fucking heard of him.
Maybe you've heard of him. If not, then like go watch some UFC archives or whatever. But
nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
too.
He's talking about opening a spot. Wouldn't mind going into business with him, but ultimately want to get my own spot that has weights, jiu-jitsu, and physical therapy, because I feel like the main reason people quit jiu-jitsu is injuries.
Fuck, you want to start like a little East Austin jiu-jitsu type deal.
Yeah, but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing over there. I love what Vince is doing a great job. But yeah, end game, I would like to do that. I'd like to get a boy out. First kid was a girl. Let's get a boy out, continue the legacy, and then, like I said, do a bunch of steroids, come back, win trials. That would be cool as fuck.
Fuck yeah. Like I said, JB's the fucking man. He's super good. Doesn't get a lot of light shined on him, I guess, in the proper way. That's just, I guess that's kind of a dagger, but I'm just gonna say
I mean, it is what it is. There's a bunch of videos of me online getting beat up by Craig. If you haven't rolled with Craig, you probably don't understand. But
yeah, no one.
If you have rolled with Craig, then you
yeah. JB's the man. He helps everyone. Silver medal slide buys, BJJ Fanatics.
Ooh, yeah.
Buy. The guy just had a kid, so if you don't buy it and you pirate it, you're a piece of shit.
I agree.
Buy silver medal slide buys. Come to B team. Go to the fundamentals class. You'll see a couple of ADCC vets during the fundamentals class, Wojcik and shit. We all go there and we just hang out. It's just a good vibe. JB can help you with a bunch of hand fighting or anything, really. He's just knowledgeable, and he's the man. 6 p.m. is Monday through Friday. You don't have to be invited. You don't have to be a blue belt. You can literally just be any guy off the street. Come in and join the community. JB made a really cool community there. So shout out to the boy. Follow him on Instagram. And
JBear174 on Instagram.
Yeah, and he's going to be back on. I mean, this is the quickest hour Jesus Christ. I can talk to you and Declan all fucking day.
Yeah, we flew through that.
We're going to keep him back on. So thanks for coming on, buddy.